Greetings fellow gamers, I'm the Soulsborne Seeker and today I'll be reviewing Dead Cells Return to Castlevania, the latest downloadable content for Dead Cells, a metroidvania roguelite title that was originally released by Motion Twin back in the summer of 2018 and available for PC, Linux, macOS, PS4, Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. Dead Cells took the world by storm upon release, earning the adoration of countless gamers for its combat gameplay and level design, as well as its approach to exploration and procedurally generated biomes, which resulted to a different experience during each run, without alienating the players. As the game's player base and fame grew, it was eventually able to feature crossovers with different games of the metroidvania, roguelite, and Souls-like genres, presenting cameos, items, weapons, and lore rooms from titles like Hollow Knight, Terraria, Risk of Rain, Shovel Knight, and Hyper Light Drifter, just to name a few. And that's where our current DLC comes into the mix. Return to Castlevania is the latest crossover to be featured in Dead Cells, and arguably one of the most popular ones, since it brings to pixelated life one of the games that truly defined the genre in the first place. Return to Castlevania can only be described as a love letter to the fans of the titular series, as well as a reverent tribute from the developers, who clearly have a lot of passion for the intellectual property. In terms of gameplay, Dead Cells doesn't reinvent the wheel with this crossover, and instead chooses to maintain what made the original title so loved by its audience, and simply enhance it with content relevant to Castlevania, including new weapons, new areas, new skins, and new bosses that will be all too familiar for those who grew up playing games in the series, with the strongest references paying tribute to none other than Symphony of the Night itself. Return to Castlevania takes place in two separate areas, the outskirts of Dracula's castle as well as the castle itself, and will immediately hit you with nostalgia from the moment you will start descending the stairs to access the new biomes. Featuring new enemies taken directly from the Castlevania series, you will have to face flying harpies, bone-flinging skeletons, axe-throwing knights, as well as those annoying spinning lion heads as you battle your way to the top in order to duke it out with the King of the Night himself. The setting is filled with Easter eggs and references to past games, including the presence of some of its most recognizable characters like Alucard and Richter Belmont, which you can unlock as skins, as well as the ability to find and wield some of the most iconic weapons of the series, including the Whip Sword, as well as the Scythe of Death himself. However, as far as references go, the one that spoke to me the most as a fan of the games was Richter Mode, a secret mode you can find during your run in Dracula's castle that allows you to play as Richter Belmont while adopting the gameplay of the original titles. As inconvenient as the controls are for today's standards, I couldn't help but smile as nostalgia hit me like a brick wall. When it comes to bosses, you will come face to face with a total of 4 new big bads, all of which are, of course, mainstays from the series. Aside from Dracula himself, I'm not going to spoil who the rest are, but I am going to say that most of the fights are challenging and rewarding, always depending on how strong you have built up your character to be during your run. Of special note here is the music. Motion Twin has reinterpreted some of the most iconic tracks from the series, effectively breathing new life to them while at the same time respecting what made the original so legendary in the first place. Listening to renditions of Bloody Tears, Dracula's Castle, and Vampire Killer while slashing and whipping your way through your enemies is something that you need to experience by yourself. The only thing that disappointed me in this DLC was its length. I understand that downloadable content tends to be shorter than the main game, but I would have liked to have seen more iconic biomes and bosses from the series in addition to the ones that we got. While the rest of the content like weapons and skins can of course be used while doing runs in the main game, I would have enjoyed to spend a bit more time in the universe of Castlevania, but that just goes to say how good of a job Motion Twin did in making me want more. All in all, Return to Castlevania is a labor of love that is filled to the brim with content and Easter eggs that pay homage to the titular series while fitting perfectly in the world that Dead Cells takes place in. The combat is better than ever, the amount of detail present in the biomes we got is astonishing, and there are quite a few new pieces of equipment to discover and skins to unlock that will keep you coming back. My final verdict on Dead Cells Return to Castlevania is 8.5 out of 10. What did you think about Dead Cells Return to Castlevania? Have you played it yet? Do you agree with the points I mentioned, or do you see things differently? Let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Soulsborne Seeker out.